Happy Wednesday. Hope this week is going well. We are officially into 10 days of until football season. I was gonna say 9 days, but that would have been bad math, and you know how it goes. Anyway, I am Stephen Willis. Thanks for listening. You can, of course, tune in to our show on Facebook at Positively Ole Miss, at YouTube at Positively Ole Miss. Subscribe there, hit the bell. At Twitch at Positively Ole Miss, all one word. And of course on Twitter at Ole Positively, and that at the Stephen Willis. You can follow a Discord server. You can follow our subreddit as well. It'll be there for you. So basically what we're doing is the shotgun method of how to get the most people at one time and throughout social media, because this has never been done before. There's not an instance that I see where people have tried to conglomerate several social media sites and meet people where they are. And once we are done, you'll be able to chat on a video, and wherever you're watching it at, it'll be able to comment. So that's pretty cool. Just a note, we are going to be doing a post-game show this year. If you are a former player that would be willing to participate in 5 to 10 minutes of analysis, let me know on Facebook or Twitter. I don't want necessarily a media person, because we need to be able to trust what we're seeing and do facts only, not whatever is going to make you the most money. So I want the results and everything, the way we do this 30,000 foot view of Ole Miss football, to be true. And I want people to be able to see the build from week 1 to week 2 to week 3 to week 4, because that's the reason people join up and listen and try to accumulate the most knowledge they can on a subject. That's the reason we're all on these. So the show title will be We've Got Notes, and it should air immediately following the game. It should be like streamed 30 minutes after, podcast before that, on if you listen on Spotify or Apple, etc., etc. So, as I said before, we're on like 10 different platforms currently. That's a lot. So, being that we're going to be a little bit scattershot in the beginning, because we're trying to find where our audience lives. Right now, we're probably somewhere on growing our Facebook group around 5,000%. I mean, that's crazy. It's the leader in the clubhouse. We have, by the way, we have pages for our shows at Facebook. The Around the SEC show, the POMcast, are available for you there. So join up, like them, follow them, and once again, whenever we put a video up, you will be notified. If you are on Twitter, it'll be on Twitter as well, but you need to follow Ole Positively. We're not going to fill that thread up with nonsense. That way you can be notified of video and content as it becomes available. So, Dean Leonard got cleared this week. That is fantastic news. Robinson got cleared earlier, so we're just waiting on Otis Reese and Jacob Springer. I don't think Jacob Springer is coming because of something to do with transferring from a service academy. They have different rules. Otis Reese is a transfer in conference. Now, you can tell by week 1 of the schedule that they don't necessarily treat every school the same. The fact that Arkansas is not playing Vanderbilt this year is proof of that. So, regardless, 2021 is shaping up to be a fantastic year for the secondary. If we develop this year at all, 2021 should be fantastic. Linebacker core is already fantastic. That's 2 levels of the defense. Don't let people tell you otherwise. Defensive line is going to need some work. We need to see it. We need to just kind of lay eyes on it. But Ryder Anderson moving into the 3 technique with a year that doesn't count towards his eligibility, he can come back and do it again next year. That's a good thing. Did you know that Sam Williams can come back next year now? Did y'all know that? Those freshmen, Patrick Lucas and Ladarius Cox, this is a free year for them as well. It's just something to think about. But the main thing is that Dean Leonard got cleared, so our secondary depth did go up. So we need to see how the current DBs fit in the new system. Because remember, a player is not bad in all systems just because they are bad in one system. So we need to keep an eye on that. Because they are going to be the risk-reward Jabril Peppers players in this defense. We got to find that Jabril Peppers, obviously, but that's what it's going to be. I don't know. I don't know how much you can take from it and draw from week 1 this year. I think week 5 will kind of be the way it goes. But anyway, we're going to take a break. We'll talk to you in just a little bit.
Only 10% of us get enough daily exercise.
And that number is dropping.
Nearly 30% of us are overweight or obese.
We spend 6 hours a day in front of a screen.
As a result, we now have a shorter life expectancy than our parents.
But give us the right start in sports, and we'll never stop.
Learn how at active4life.ca.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis from Positively Ole Miss. We're almost done with this break. We'll be back with good information quite soon.
The military has been in every generation of my family, and so has VA. It wasn't easy for my dad after Vietnam, but VA helped him and my mom get the home they'd always wanted. My grandpa's been coming to VA since World War II. They even helped him lay to rest one of his battle buddies from Normandy. And me, I followed in their footsteps and served with pride. And now that I'm out of the military, the GI Bill's helping me with school. Every generation of my family has served, and VA has served us all.
Welcome back, Stephen Willis, the POMcast on this Wednesday, September the 16th. We are 10 days away from football. By the time you listen to this, we'll be below 10 days. Probably, because that's the way that works. Anyway, Thanks for listening. Again, follow all our platforms and subscribe and get notifications and all that. If you have a tip, you can send it to positivelyolemiss@gmail.com. Or you can Facebook message me or direct message me. Once we get to all video, we're going to be able to do some cool things. So stick around for that. We're still months away. We're baby stepping this. Right now, we are just about building our base. That's what we're concentrating on at the moment. Although things have sped up to the point where maybe we can do something. Whenever mid-October gets here, we'll see what's up with our base and everything like that. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all new listeners. The numbers of this podcast are just blowing me away at the moment. I can't believe that the Ole Miss fan base was, like me, that desperate for quality information that's unbiased. Thank you very much for coming in. And remember, when I say biased, every journalism story is affected by A, money, B, influence, or C, ambition. Sometimes the truth matches up, often it does not, and that's how we are in this media environment we are in. So we're trying to do this without the media. That's what we're trying to do. Anyway, I just spoke about Dean Leonard getting cleared and talked about the defense a little bit. Let's talk about the offensive line. And Ben Brown moving to center and what that necessarily means. Now, I will readily admit that offensive line play is a little bit advanced for me. If you know anything or want to put in your 2 cents, hit us up on the Facebook page around the SEC. Hit us up in the stream thread. Do all that and say, hey, Steve, you're wrong. But I don't think I'm wrong. We return, and I say we because I've earned the right to say we. I went to Ole Miss. I am a letter winner at Ole Miss, and I had an office at Ole Miss. So all 3 levels of it. I've earned the right. We return 3 starters on the offensive line. That was pretty good. Second in the SEC last year in rushing. Good run blockers. So, and one of those people was basically a starter last year. So it looks like Nick Broker at left tackle, Jalen Cunningham at left guard. Ben Brown moved from right guard to center. We don't know about right guard. That could be Caleb Warren. That could be like Reese McIntyre or somebody. And right tackle is the name escapes me. He's from Nashville, Illinois. Well, anyway, he played left guard last year. It'll come to me in a second. I am terrible with names, by the way. And that's just a side effect of 2 brain surgeries. So just bear with me on that. So it will come back. And it's important to realize that these were put together last year as primary run blockers. Royce Newman is his name. Royce Newman, right tackle. And knowing that they do that determines the skill set moving forward. Because it is a different bucket of tools, per se, to run block than pass block. So I think Nick Broker is going to be fine. He can do both. He's an NFL offensive lineman. Ben Brown is an NFL offensive lineman. Royce Newman is the type guy that probably is going to make a roster in the NFL. So those 2 guard positions. Now, why is the offensive line a big deal? Well, the run game is the same. People like to make fun of Rich Rod's offense. The run game's the same. So, that offensive line has last fall, and last spring of blocking in a zone run offense scheme. So you're going to see a lot of outside zone, a lot of inside zone, and a lot of split zone. You're going to see that. So the run game is set up. Everything is kind of built for it. You've repped it. It's the easiest thing to transfer from last season to this season, to that personnel group, to this personnel group. I will say that again. That's the easiest thing to transfer. So, if Lane Kiffin is about being successful and winning the most games this year, the offense will look like 2017 at FAU, where they ran 67% of the time. And JRP will be the quarterback. And that's all facts. If Lane Kiffin is more concerned about recruiting and projecting to recruits an offense on the field, a defense on the field, if he's more interested in that, the offense will look like 2019 FAU. The offense will look like 2019 FAU, and Matt Corral will be the quarterback. Those are really the two options of what we should look like offensively. So what we want to do, what the head coach wants to get accomplished, and how he handles this year zero, this 10-game spring practice that is perfect for development. Perfect for development. Is going to determine what he's really interested in. Because it's one of those two things. You can win games both ways. But the best version of ourselves is probably that run offense. The best recruiting version that mixes with college football today is that pro style offense. And they do pro mindset and all that stuff. So it's just something to think about. Because this season is unlike any in recorded history. Nobody has been alive to see this. We're all experiencing this for the first time together. Now, luckily for us, we have an early adopter as a head coach. That means he's going to be flexible and not rigid during this time. That means he's probably going to make the best of this time. Now, this isn't saying which way he's going to go, because winning by itself could be better than putting a product on the field that you want to recruit to. Winning could be more important than that. You get to 5 or 6 games, all of a sudden, just like 2012, you're rolling. You have all the momentum. Maybe winning those games are more important than putting a projection of recruiting and going 3-7. This is why he gets paid the big bucks. This is why he gets paid all that money, because it's really his call. Anyway, we're going to come back after this break with the Texas A&M preview. Stick around.
You want to answer that, don't you? I bet it's just killing you seeing the soft glow just inches away. Someone wants to tell you something or ask you something. Oh, come on, answer it already! Just so we're clear, that wasn't my fault. Next time, ignore your inner voice. Don't text and drive. A message from Florida's trusted choice independent insurance agents.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis. I just want you to stick around a little longer. We're going to get back to the podcast right after these messages.
Tonight, nearly 40,000 veterans across the country are homeless. These men and women have pledged to serve our nation, and now we must serve them. Landlords across the country have helped make significant progress in reducing veteran homelessness by making housing available, but there is more that we can do to bring our veterans home. Visit www.va.gov/homeless to see how you can get involved. And if you are a veteran and you are experiencing homelessness, please call 877-4AID-VET. Thank you.
All right, we're back. Texas A&M preview time. Gig 'em, howdy, all that stuff. Cult members, yada, yada, yada. All right. The 30,000-foot view of this game is we can beat Texas A&M because we could have beat them the last 2 years. Really, this year's a worse personnel than last year. So if we almost beat them last year, there you go. Now, this could be difficult for us. If there's a pass game at all, they like to do a lot of zone defense and a lot of exotic things in the back end of their defense. Mike Elko is fantastic. If you are a defensive savant, watch what they do. Watch what they do. Now, I am going to call this game, Texas A&M by a touchdown because it's on the road. I don't think I believe it, but I'm going to call it that way. It's important to advance year on year, to provide a better looking aesthetically product each year. That's part of experience in a system and talent. Kellen Mond, though, has been static. He's the same quarterback he was 3 years ago. Now, that's fine. They're winning games, going to bowl games, but they're not going to take that next step, I don't think. They're just not. I see people predicting them to win 8 games. They're probably going to lose 4. But losing 4 games, even in the best of years for Aggie, is kind of where they normally sit. So 6-4 this year will be like 8-4 in a normal year. I mean, they pick up Tennessee and Florida as the extra conference games. They play the SEC West. That includes Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Ole Miss, and State, which I put them in there because by the time they play, the practices should have caught up. It should kind of look like it normally does. The reps will start to sink in. So, I am going to go Texas A&M by 7-ish. I think that has us at 4-4 at the moment. Coming off a 2-game winning streak. Win at Arkansas and a win at Kentucky. So I think it's important to realize that they are not exactly, they're not worth over-respecting. Honestly, there's nobody in the SEC, especially in the West this year, that is worth over-respecting. Oh, just to let you know, Florida had 6 players fail their COVID test this week due to SEC compliance. I don't know who those players are, and they won't tell them because, for obvious reasons, they will not be able to travel to Oxford and play Ole Miss. So they're down 6 already. There's still tests to go after this weekend as well. Ole Miss, during the same testing time period, had 0 positives. They're still on track for everybody to play. They still have some players in quarantine, but we're not dealing with a situation where they won't be back by the ball game. These players for Florida are inside the window that guarantees they miss this ball game. Remember, a positive test, when it comes back, you can't test out of it. You have a 14-day quarantine and a 4 to 7 day reacclimation period before you're a full go with the team. So that's 3 weeks. So these players might be back for week 2 for Florida, but more than likely they'll be back for week 3. People need to realize this is a serious thing, and this is unlike anything we have gone through before. If you try, like Lane Kiffin said yesterday, if you try to predict everything and go business as usual, you will have trouble predicting the outcomes of this season. We had 3 or 4 2-touchdown underdogs win last week. That's pretty good. That means this season is going to be fun, and it's going to be about who handles this virus better than the other team. You need somebody that's flexible. You need somebody that is an early adopter, and Ole Miss, you have it. The best person possible is running this program at this particular time. We got lucky. I mean, we couldn't have seen this coming. There's no way this came into our thoughts when we hired him. And it couldn't. But we have the perfect person to lead this team through this. It's just the facts. You need somebody that is flexible and an early adopter. We're talking about a person that goes for it based on metrics, data. There's a person you'll see on the sideline at Ole Miss games with a giant binder. And inside that binder is every 4th down and every yard line and the percentage chance that it will be successful that you will gain 2 yards or whatever it is. It's all about analytics. So we're looking at what's going to be an aggressive mindset. It's a flexible mindset. You wouldn't, if you were rigid, you would not take that step to follow analytics on 4th down. If you were an old school football coach, that would not happen. That doesn't happen at Alabama. That doesn't happen at LSU. That doesn't happen at Auburn. Honestly, that doesn't happen anywhere except for Lane Kiffin that I've seen. So, anyway, give us a follow at the Stephen Willis and Ole Positively. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Hit the bell for notifications. Join the Twitch channel. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Today was fantastic. Take care.